We're all about the Archers. I'm Philippa.
And I'm Quentin.
This week we cover Adil and Oliver,
Ian and Lee,
Eddie,
and Worms.
And this episode has spoilers up to and including the episode of The Archers on Tuesday, the 17th of October. So if you haven't heard that yet, go back, have a listen, and then come and join us. You would be most welcome. Well, Quentin, what did you think of the week so far?
The first thing to say is that you've been proved correct. Your prediction has absolutely had a bullseye, hasn't it? Because you predicted a disaster at Grey Gables, which, to be fair, didn't take much insight. I mean, there were indications along the way. But credit where credit's due, Philippa. Tonight you were vindicated. Oliver's on the brink of a meltdown. Adil's done a runner. Apparently because of a family crisis. We don't believe that, do we? And Ian is having a massive hissy fit about everything. So
he certainly is.
Well
but
done,
as my
you.
reward, can we just talk about food for a moment? Because we've had quite a few items of food.
Can we just park it there? Can we just park the food just for, 30 seconds? Or I've got a feeling you got your teeth into this already. So go. I mean, if you want to bore our wonderful listeners and viewers straight away, you talk about food.
Okay. My food report so far, we've had sweets in the shop. We've had turkey, roast potatoes and parsnips. We've had Grey Gables gold cheese. We've had barmbrack. We've had soggy pita bread. We've had flour and yeast and bread. We've had carrot cake. And we've had boiled egg and hazelnut curry. Very strange.
I mean, what do I say to that? I mean, well listened, Philippa. It's a comprehensive list. I was really hoping you hadn't spotted the carrot cake this evening, so I was going to pull you up on that. So well done, you. And Halloween barnbrack, I think that's a sort of sultanery, raisiny thingy, is it?
Yes, it's got a bread-like texture sprinkled with dried fruit.
I've never heard of it. When do you eat it? Just at Halloween? Is it a Halloween?
No, it's an Irish speciality, but the fact that you're throwing in like a mouldy pea and a bit of paper and a coin and a ring, that does seem particularly of this moment, which is fair enough. Let me ask you, Quentin, give me your faves, give me your flops for this week.
Well, I'd like to start with Haskadarian worms, really, as a fave.
That was a flop for me.
Who'd know that they could grow up to a foot long in a turkey? It's disgusting, isn't it? It's a fave because it was so disgusting that I just have to go for that, really. I once plucked turkeys at Christmas, so I have a particular interest in turkeys at Christmas. I won't go into details because it wasn't very nice. Anyway, the other fave, another animal theme, a herd of guinea pigs. I never knew that a collection of guinea pigs was a herd. So I rather like that. So worms and herds are my faves. Can I give you my flop now, or do you want to wait for a flop? Or?
No, flop away.
Just one word, really. One name. It's Ian. That's my head. He's done my head in this week. Oh. Calm down. Little Kim on Twitter, X, what you want to call it, she summed it up. She said, at some point, I started to dislike Ian, and I'm not sure I've recovered from it. And I'm with you on this one, Kim, because he's just been progressively annoying, isn't he? He's just, what is it about the man? He's just going on and on and on. I just thought he was sort of really enjoying the drama of being able to show what a absolute, I was going to use a rude word there, show, Grey Gables has become. And then you think, oh, right, he's had his little moment. And then there's another scene with him and Helen, and he's on it again. And all Helen's worried about is whether her cheese and vegetable order is going to be maintained by Grey Gables. That's her main concern, isn't it? I mean, obviously, the other disgusting thing that came out was the image of Lee's sweaty trainers. That really did turn my stomach. I think more than the Haskadarian worms. This image of these sweaty trainers, probably on a radiator somewhere, steaming in the corner, disgusting. And
I I'm not sure
I
about
can
this.
imagine
Helen,
Lee spraying deodorant everywhere, can't you?
having been given deodorant paste by Helen, I'm sorry, I tried a natural deodorant once and I was sitting in a meeting thinking, who is that smelling so bad? And it was me. So, no, I completely understand why the deodorant paste is put to one side and high-end chemicals are used. But Helen is not
you could
happy
have
with Lee, full stop, in so many ways.
I mean,
She wouldn't sit with him
yeah.
while he was painting the woodwork. She wouldn't sit and watch TV and have a cup of tea with him. She'd rather be in the kitchen reading a book. I can understand that possibly, but I think she's just over him. I think Helen has the ick.
Yes. I mean, I think we've long suspected there's trouble at mill, isn't there, in the Bridge farm with her and Lee. And I mean, we're all encouraging Lee to leave. We're all encouraging Lee to leave, aren't we? Really, for his own good, and for our sanity, frankly. Well, those of us who haven't got much time for Lee. But anyway, what were your faves and flops?
Well, I'll give you a flop first of all because it relates to Lee. He was only allowing Henry and Jack 5 sweets in the shop. I mean, when I used to go and get sweets and they were a penny each, you'd at least get 10. 5 little sweets. Is that to last them all week? What planet is that man on? That's not enough sweets. I'm sorry. So I do have a problem with Lee about that. Faves, the fact that Helen is thinking of marketing her cheese to other high-end hotels with bespoke branding. How many high-end hotels that want bespoke branding are there in the area, Helen? None. And I know it's been said before, but paying all this money for a wrapping of a cheese that then will be unwrapped before the cheese is put on a plate, absolute nonsense. My other fave was Eddie yesterday with his speeches. I mean, if someone, he's going to launch Eddie's speech writing service, I think, because I had to write this down. Did you think that the Ferris wheel was built by a man who would stumble at the first hurdle? And then hold on to your vision, Oliver. All that glitters wasn't built in a day. I mean, songs need to be written to go with those words, I think.
I've got that written down as well. Yeah. I mean, he's so thick as well, isn't he, Eddie? I mean, how many hints did poor Clary have to drop on Sunday that she wanted to be the witch? Oh, my! He's so up his own Ferris wheel, that one, that he doesn't listen to. Eventually he twigged. I thought he was. I mean, the obvious candidate in Ambridge, who we don't even seem to hear from anymore, is Lillian. But then that reminded me that didn't she perform as a witch? Wasn't last year? She was.
Yes, but then something happened to her, and Linda had to take over. Did she twist her ankle?
Yes. On
something?
Yes.
Was it the message in the bottle that was found?
It's a long time ago. It's last year, so who knows? But yes, Lillian's the obvious candidate for that. But Clary has got the job. Well done, Eddie, for finally twigging. Sunday was a weird one, wasn't it? I've just got the word reprimand here. Everybody was reprimanding everybody. Lee stepped in to reprimand Eddie in the shop for gossiping about the baptism. Henry then reprimanded Lee for telling Eddie to shut up and that he shouldn't feel he has to protect him and Jack. Helen then reprimands Lee for making such a big issue about the graffiti and making it about them. I think that was just reprimand after reprimand on Sunday. It was a strange one, wasn't it? They were all ticking each other off.
Clary in the shop. Oh, Lee! When she spotted that Lee had actually heard everything, was trying to tell Eddie to stop talking. That did make me chuckle. I think I've enjoyed the week so far. I think the characterizations are just brilliant. And I come back to Eddie's speech. I mean, it's the stuff of legends, it really is. But, okay, I've got a couple of questions for you, though, Q. I need your view on this. Your first question.
Right.
Who wrote the nasty word on the church door that we heard last week? Have you any views about that?
I do, but I'm going to have to say that as my prediction.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Well, we'll hold back on that then.
Hold back. Yes.
Okay.
Next question.
Well, I've got a view, so I'll wait for your prediction and then, yes, say about that. The next question has to be, where is Adil?
Linda didn't mention passports, did she? So has he taken his passport?
He's taken his books, though. He's taken his books. If you've taken your books, you're not coming back tomorrow.
No. Is he hiding in his sister's surgery?
Okay. So you think he's close by, but just locked in a room with some blue towels
I think
under an examination table?
I suspect his sister, Dr. Malik, is helping his escape in some capacity, or at least trying to get him to calm down. She hasn't just been dropped in there. I mean, she's there for a purpose. So I think this could be her purpose. That's a sort of prediction, isn't it? But I'm holding back on my other prediction.
Yes, hold back. I think with Adil, well, I'm just wondering, I don't buy this family emergency that Linda and Oliver just seem to have fallen for and are feeling so sorry for Adil. But I do think that there's something quite serious going on. And as you say, there must be a reason why we have his sister there as well. So I'm wondering if he's had a breakdown in the past, if when he lost his wife, there were issues then, and he just can't cope with it all, because he was a really nice guy when he arrived and he's been doing lots of things, and then he's just got more and more stressed. So I do wonder if he's just done a bunk because he can't deal with it, he can't handle it, and he's in a bad place. And that's why his sister's been so worried, because she's seen where he's got to before, how bad he's been, and doesn't want that to happen again.
He's certainly having some sort of mental health crisis, isn't he? It's just become far too much. He's having a breakdown of some form. So we need to be worried about our Adil. Talking of Adil, and another reason Ian's got my wick this week is that he's been mispronouncing Adil's name, doesn't he? He keeps saying Adil, and it's Adil. We've interviewed the Ronnie who plays it.
He was saying that they had recorded a scene where a character was mispronouncing the name, and it was felt that it was right to do that because of different regional accents. So maybe that's what he was referring to. But yes, it's Adil. Come on,
possibly.
Ian. Snap out of it.
We haven't mentioned the fact that Pip and Stella are now going to snog in public. They're coming out, aren't they? Big time.
And that Rosie jumped up and down with excitement, and that Jill was questioning what pronoun she should be using.
Yes.
I thought Alistair's reaction was lovely, though.
Yeah, he was lovely, wasn't he? Lovely about it. And of course, the other big news is that she's considering getting another dog to replace Weaver. I'm surprised you didn't pick up on that, Philippa.
I did, but I didn't like the other options, the parrot and the snail. There was a lot of focus on this snail.
I missed the snail. When was the snail mentioned? I got no reference to a snail.
Let me get my notes, because there was a particular type of snail. Hang on, where are we? Land snails. They kept referring to land snails.
Why?
Very strange.
Why? I switched off. Why was it Eddie again? Was it Eddie or
parrot? No, they talked about, Pip and Stella talked about a parrot, and Stella had said, "Oh, don't want a parrot because the parrot will repeat what she thinks about what she says about Brian." So then the other option Pip presented was a land snail. Quite spectacular. She could just get a worm from out of the turkey and befriend that.
Yeah, you got free pet there, foot long, a Haskadarian worm.
Oh.
So I'm worried about Oliver. Oliver's one of my favourites. Ian says he's a meltdown in the making. I don't want that. I like Oliver. Ambridge is a happier place when Oliver is happy and content and spreading happiness. So you can sense he's getting really worried that he's made a big boo-boo here with Grey Gables and relying on Adil and making head no tail of his lists and spreadsheets, which would clearly upset you, Philippa, being a spreadsheet freak.
I love a spreadsheet. But yes, this is Oliver's money. And well, I just hope that maybe the whole village come together and rescue it. Maybe Lily, with her incredible knowledge of kitchens, can be there and fit the sink, and Eddie can sort out the patio, and Emma can come and do the bedroom. You know, just the whole village in some sort of DIY SOS comes together with Nick Knowles and just sorts it all out.
Well, it's a bit like the film with Harrison Ford, Witness, you know, when they build that barn in a day. Do you remember that scene?
Yes. Yes.
That's what we need in Ambridge.
It takes a village.
There you go.
Will it happen?
And if Harrison Ford turns up, even better. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Well, I think it's time for predictions. You've been holding back on this now, Q. Come on, let's hear this prediction.
Well, you want to know who I think has daubed the offensive word on St. Stephen's. And I believe it is Henry. He was very twitchy, wasn't he? He was asking lots of questions about it. Sounded rather awkward and nervous and evasive as well at the same time. So I think it's Henry.
I think it's George, and he's told Henry. I think we were being given a bit of a red herring with Henry this week.
I like your thinking. I like your thinking, because then has George influenced him to put a rude word on St. Stephen's? So I think, given your track record already this week in terms of predictions, I will not be surprised if you're right again. But it's one of those two.
Helen said it was a disgusting word, so I wondered if it was camembert.
I think perhaps Haskadarian.
Yes. Well, okay, my prediction is we heard Alistair almost choking on the ring in the is it pronounced Barnbrack? Is that how it's pronounced?
Barnbrack, I think.
But yes. Well, apologies to everybody for mispronouncing it. But yes, when he nearly swallowed the ring in that, and it meant he was going to get married within a year. So I think Denise is going to come back. She's got divorced. Everything's fine. And they get married. And that's all lovely.
I like that one. I'd like Denise to come back. She disappeared too quickly. So
yeah.
Hopefully you're right on that one, Philippa. And as I said, you're on a run, so you never know. You never know.
I'm never normally right, so no, I will just celebrate my moment and know that it will never happen again. But next week I'll be joined by Katie, the week after Lauren, and the week after that it will be all of us again. Hopefully at the weekend there will be a bonus episode that we're very excited about, that we're aiming to record on Friday. You can find us on YouTube. You can watch a longer version of this on YouTube if you so wish. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and you can just join us there. You'd be ever so welcome. So it's a bye-bye from me.
That's a bye-bye from me. Bye.
Bye-bye.